Michael, thank you so much for taking some time with me today. Tell me about your role here at Telefónica Tech.
My role within Telefónica Tech is head of service. So essentially, once we build out solutions for customers, it hands over to me. So as part of the duration of the contract, I make sure that we meet all our targets and SLAs, our reporting, making sure an excellent service for all of our customers.
Within your remit, Michael, is our EPIC practice. And for the benefit of our viewers, could you just tell us a little bit about the size, scale and nature of that?
Our EPIC practice are at the moment about 20 heads, so we've doubled the size of our team within the last 12 to 16 months. They all are certified engineers, so those guys all go through multiple exams and certifications. The scale of the team is sort of split into three areas of delivery. So we have ODBAs, ECSAs, and integrations people. The tenure of these guys are all typically long-running engineers who've got other skill sets. So a lot of our guys would have come from SQL support or DBA support in general. There's also Citrix environments that they would have experience in.
And that sort of prefaces my next question. When you've deployed an EPR and you're in a steady state stable service, there's an enormous pace of change behind that between special updates and upgrades with small windows of planned downtime. How do you, as head of service, balance the changing nature of the EPIC environment to the capacity and availability of the service, and how do you balance that out?
It's always a challenge. We, as part of a large enterprise delivery, we have to make sure all our feature sets are updated. Key is our security and making sure all patches and updates are applied. As you mentioned, now the focus for me is always the least impact possible for our end users, given the nature of the tool set. So we do this in really a hybrid way. So there's certain parts of that solution that we can update and upgrade while the service stays live. There are parts of the solution and upgrade that we can't do that for. We have to take a small outage for our customers, but we utilize all the features and functions within the EPIC toolset called pauses, which makes those outages very small. And what we do is tie in with each of our customers to see when best. So typically our guys would provide a 24/7 service, and those types of outages would usually be midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, where it's least impactful.
Yeah, thank you for that. Michael, you've had a career spanning several organisations, analogous, I guess, to us. I would just like you to speak to, if you can, what our differentiation is, especially in this vertical.
Not one size fits all. So what we do is we look at each customer, and even through the life cycle of a delivery, I know if anything makes sense. It generally is easy to be flexible and change what we do. It doesn't have to be for all customers, but certainly within a company like Telefónica Tech, we find that quite easy to be flexible.
I have one final question for you, Michael. If there is a head of service in a trust at the moment, or a CTO, director of digital, watching this, what advice would you have if they were embarking on either an EPR program or a digital transformation program?
I would say to any head of service to just look at the marketplace, speak to your peers, see who's currently delivering these services within the marketplace, and look for testimonials, look for references, and see who's out there doing this on the ground.
Yeah, no, and that's a really good point. When I think about the marketplace and I think about how it's changed, even over the decade that I've been exclusively involved in health, where we've seen all shapes, size and scales of requirement coming out to the market, from a larger IT outsource to discrete pillars of operation. What's your observations on what's happening in the marketplace?
Exactly that, Ellen. And through my career history, all in managed service delivery, I have seen over the years a reduction in the end-to-end delivery for managed services. I've also seen a lot of people bringing the services back in-house, or certainly within the public sector. Since coming to Telefónica Tech, we, as I mentioned earlier, have doubled my team size pretty much in the last 18 months. It almost bucks the trend to what I've seen before. And that is through, as you say, discrete pillar delivery, but also from end-to-end delivery from service desk right through into the high-end services.
Yeah, and I think that's one of our key differentiators. The customer can come for one pillar of service, be that hosting for an EPR, or they can come for a field to fork end-to-end service, or anything in between. And we're here to really respond to any shape of those requirements.
And it's probably worth saying, Ellen, any of the contracts that we've been involved in, we see that grow. The scope increases throughout the duration of the contract. And those are the sorts of things I would say to any head of service, look for that type of delivery.
Yeah, that demonstrates the agility and the value. And that's just one thing, actually, I wanted to pick up with you on. Our approach to continuous improvement. It's something that I'm incredibly proud of. I'd like you to speak to, if you can.
A method that I've always used throughout my career isn't always the big bang, amazing improvements. It's the 1%, and it's the constant 1%. So within one of my big managed service deliveries last year, we had 200 service improvements. And all of those are various sizes and shapes, but when you add those together and you look back, especially when we do annual reviews, you just see the huge steps forward, the automation that we build in to improve the service at the front end.
Yeah, and it's just something I think we should be incredibly proud of.
Indeed.
Thank you so much, Michael, for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to the conversation that I had with my colleagues today. If that resonated, and if you want to have that conversation with these people around your specific circumstances, please get in touch.